News about J-Hope purchasing two luxury apartments within a month has been making the rounds. Many are impressed because he allegedly paid in cash. And a lot of you are curious, does this mean he is the richest BTS member? You also wanted to know how much they're getting paid for endorsements, streams, concerts. I also mentioned in one of my videos that they probably don't hold a lot of cash, just like most rich people do. And you wanted to know how that works and why will they not hold cash. So let's go through each of your questions.
Hi! If you ended up liking this video, please give it a thumbs up. Of course, share the video if you can. Also, click that subscribe button, that notification button, so that you don't miss a single video. And follow me on all the social media accounts that you see on your screen right now, especially on X, formerly Twitter. That's where I upload other content, and then Instagram on other projects, personal projects and other personal stuff. And I will be announcing other things too in the future. Thank you. All right, on to the video.
So, who is the richest member? I'll give it to you straight and flat. No one knows who is the richest BTS member. They probably don't know who is the richest among them because they invest their money. That's pretty obvious. I don't need to prove that because we get to know some of their investments. They invest in real estate, just like what we just learned about J Hope, artworks, stock market, and probably businesses that we don't even know about. And I'm not just talking about their own business, but businesses that they invest in. Unless they all invest the same amount of money at the same time in the same assets, then there is really no chance they all have the same net worth or that they are generating the same amount of revenue. Now, the mere fact that they are buying different real estate, and there are probably more that we don't know about, that means they have properties with different values. But but aside from real estate, we know that some of them buy artworks. Those art pieces go up in value over time. They have pieces of jewelry, but also when you get to a certain amount of wealth, even the savviest businessmen get business managers or finance managers. The finance manager or managers are the ones that invest their money in the stock market, bonds, and even in other businesses. What these finance managers do is pull money from different people and invest that. Now, if you really have a lot of money, you can actually have a dedicated team that's doing this for you. So the question is, why are they not investing their money themselves directly? Making investment decisions, that's not easy. These managers have different utilities and resources that allow them to have a better chance at investing in the right assets. Also, it is really a full time job, and as we know, they perform, they sing, they produce commercials, they write songs. They do not have time for that. These business managers and finance managers can also take care of your taxes and other stuff. Another advantage, these finance managers and business managers also get to know opportunities that aren't necessarily available to ordinary investors. And even if, let us assume that the BTS members are the ones that are making the final call on where to put their money, the business managers and finance managers can provide better research so that the investor can actually make a better decision. Now, the value of a portfolio changes every day. Heck, it changes every minute. If you watch the stock market, you will see that it changes by the second. So you may be worth 5 million today and then 4.5 million tomorrow and then 3 million the day after that. So just to give you an idea on how money may grow in the stock market, let's just assume this is just an example. Three BTS members had $1,000 each. Now, one person invested in Nvidia, another invested in Apple, and another invested in Nike. Back in, let's just say, for example, 2002, Nvidia was worth 50 cents, Apple was worth 30 cents, and Nike was worth $5.23. That means $1,000, the person who invested in Nvidia will get 2,000 stocks. Apple will get 3,333, while the person who invested in Nike will get 191 stocks. Now, fast forward to today. Before the stock split, Nvidia was actually already worth 1 grand per stock. Apple is now worth $220 per stock, and Nike is currently worth $81. That means their investment would have grown. The person who invested in Nvidia will now have $2 million, and the person who invested in Apple will have 733,333.33 cents, while the person who invested in Nike will now have 15,487.57. So different investments will yield different revenue. They can also invest in businesses. They can be funding startups or buying convertible stocks. There are angel investors that, like finance managers, pull money from others and then they invest in different businesses. Usually, these angel investors are set on an exit, meaning at some point after they invest in a startup or a business, their goal is to be able to sell their share or their part of the business for profit. And I can discuss that more, but just let me know if you want to know more about that. Also, some artists set up holding companies or LLCs or S corps, or these are businesses. These companies are the ones that deal with their investments. Now, with all of this complication, unless you are the accountant of the BTS members or the lawyer or business managers or the BTS members themselves, you really won't know exactly how much they are worth. Even the South Korean government's National Tax Service won't know exactly how much BTS members are worth because some of their assets, they don't need to pay taxes on those until they liquidate it. Now, is it easier to determine who makes the most in their career? When it comes to group activities, they probably get paid equally as singers and rappers. But some have more writing credits and production credits than others. We know that RM Suga and J Hope have the most writing credits in their group songs. But then there are their solo albums. Suga uses less people for his solo albums, but RM has more albums than Suga, so he has more songs. But Jungkook has the most sales and most streams. As per K-Word, for example, Jungkook has amassed 7 billion streams across all solo credits. Spotify pays 0.003 to 0.005 per stream. It depends on whether it's premium or free. The country may also affect the fee. So with 7 billion streams, all of Jungkook's songs have earned 20,826,302.34. However, Jungkook doesn't get all of that. That gets split among all rights holders. The rights holders of a song can include the publisher, songwriter, the master recording owners, and that includes Jungkook if there are featured artists and the label. And then he gets taxed. Now, for fun, let's take two extremes. But before I do this, note that this is not exact. As I've mentioned, the fee actually depends on the country and the nature of streams when it comes to Spotify because there is free and there is paid. So, Hegum was written, composed, produced, and performed by August D. The only other entity he is splitting his earnings with is Big Hit, his label. As of recording, it has amassed 354,092,673. 7 by Jungkook has been played on Spotify for 1,872,515,650 times. There are, however, 13 entities splitting that, including composer, producer, writer, featured artist, labels, and of course, Jungkook himself. Now let's assume that the song is getting paid 0.003 per stream. That means Hegum has earned 1,062,278.02. 7, on the other hand, has earned 5,617,543.95. But Suga is only splitting his earnings with Big Hit. Jungkook is splitting his earnings with 12 other entities. If Big Hit takes, let's just say, 30%, it probably doesn't, but let's just assume that. It means Suga took home 743,594.61. Now let's go to 7. Let's just assume for easy math, everyone is splitting the earnings equally. Jungkook will take home 432,119. Those are in dollars, by the way. But remember, we don't know who exactly is getting more paid streams and which country is playing the songs the most. So take that with a grain of salt. But other streaming services also pay more, such as Apple Music. Unfortunately, we don't know how many streams they are getting from there. Another thing to consider, Jimin sang the OST of Fast and the Furious. His song was also included in the Eternals movie soundtrack. Since both songs were played within the movie, he gets royalties each time the movie gets paid. Both are international movies. But then there is Suga, who rearranges Samsung's iconic mobile phone song. That's on every device. How much are they getting from there? We don't know exactly. If you have been working in the industry as I have, you will get an idea. But I don't have any papers to present to you, so I can't tell you. For concerts, did you know songs that get performed live also get paid royalties? So even if it is actually their own concert, Big Hit actually pays royalties. And since RM, Suga, and J Hope had the most credits, they get paid a little more for concerts. So do artists get paid a flat fee or do they get paid a percentage of their ticket sales? Different artists, different arrangements. There are some artists who actually just get paid a flat fee, and then there are artists who get paid a percentage of the ticket sales, and there are artists who get paid both. BTS gets paid both. And then there's the dark horse, the merch. BT21, merch made by artists and merch based on their albums and concerts and other activities. Unfortunately, you will never know which is the best selling of all of this merch. And you can't base it on which merch gets sold out in the stores you go to. Remember, some members have more fans in different countries. There is also the general public, those that buy just because they think it's cute. And yes, those people actually exist. They walk in the store, they see something cute, they buy, even though they are not fans of BTS. Do endorsements pay more? For the actual work that you do, excluding your brand building, yes, endorsements pay a lot. Most BTS members are ambassadors of two brands, Valentino and NBA for Suga, Dior and Tiffany for Jimin, and others. But V has Cartier, Celine, Siminvest, and Compost Coffee. But even if we assume that they all have equal base rates, some members do more for some brands. And naturally, if they are requiring you to do more, they also pay you more. For example, V didn't do any TV commercial for Celine or Cartier, but he did for Siminvest. But Siminvest is local, while Celine and Cartier are international. In the same breath, Jungkook has one fashion brand, that is CK, but he did a 2023 campaign and a 2024 campaign. So those are two campaigns that he gets paid for. So why do rich people not have a lot of cash? Because it's not safe for one, but also it devalues day by day. It is called inflation. Think about it. What you can buy for $10 just 2, 3 years ago, you would probably need $20 now to buy the same stuff. So if you keep your money in cash, then you're losing the value. So people will only keep a certain amount for emergencies and then they invest the rest. Naturally, they invest some in things like real estate and then some in easily liquidatable assets or assets that they can encash fast, like stocks. The interest that banks give for savings account aren't enough to cover inflation.
Okay, no, that was a lot. I do want to know what you think, though. Please leave them in the comment section below. I'm looking forward to a healthy conversation with you guys. You can say whatever it is that you want to say, just please do so respectfully. Also, if you ended up liking this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you feel like somebody else will find it helpful or will find it interesting, please forward it or share it on your social media accounts. And subscribe and hit that notification button so that you don't miss a single video. Also, follow me on all the social media accounts that you see on your screen right now, especially on X, formerly Twitter. I'm uploading new content there. And for other personal stuff, it will be on Instagram. And as I've mentioned before in the opening, I will be opening Patreon. I'm just preparing some stuff on what I can offer there. Thank you so much.